This is Connie Lindsay from Crafting a Joyful Life, and I'd like to share with you a card that I made a few days ago using the products out of the new Share What You Love suite that's coming out with the new catalog and will be available for ordering May the 1st, even before the other products in the catalog are out. Okay, so let's look at the card. It uses the Share What You Love designer series paper. It's just beautiful double-sided paper, and mint macaron cardstock that is coming back in after retiring for a year or two, and then the rich razzleberry ribbon is part of the suite, and then the sweet little pearls that are part of the embellishment kit that come in this beautiful box. So this box is certainly something to treasure. It features the Stampin' Up's motto to love what we do and share what we love, and so that's a keepsake. And of course, this stamp set, Love What You Do, comes with the suite, with the bundle. So let's look at what you need to create this card. First of all, you need a sheet of the mint macaron cardstock that is cut to 8.5 by 5.5 and then scored at 4 1/4. So I've got that already cut and scored. Then you need another sheet of the mint macaron that measures 4 by 5 1/4. That will go on top, and then a piece of the designer series paper that's also cut to 5 by 4 5 1/4 by 4. And then you'll see why in a minute, but you'll need a sheet of just Whisper Right cardstock cut to that same size, 4 by 5 1/4. And then you'll also need a couple of little pieces of the shimmery white cardstock to stamp your greeting on, and then we're going to make a mat, this mat here, out of the real raspberry cardstock. So you need those also. In addition, you need the Big Shot embossing folder that comes with the suite. It's called the Lovely Floral Dynamic Textured Embossing Folder, and has this beautiful flower image that it embosses onto the cardstock. So that's really featured right there on that card. So let's get started. First of all, we've got our card base. Got my bone folder, so get that ready, and then just set that to the side. And then the other pieces, you'll notice it's cut on the diagonal, and so let me get my Stampin' Trimmer. And the way you do that is see if I can get this so you can see. You just line it up on the diagonal, making sure that each of the points falls within that line where the cutting goes, and then you just cut that down in the diagonal, and then we'll only need one of those pieces, and then do the same thing with the mint macaron. I'm going to put each of those points in the track, and then cut that down. It's a little hard sometimes to get that cardstock to start, so that's kind of boogered that end, but this one is good. Okay, so now put this aside. The next step that we need to do is we need to emboss this. Get this over here. We need to emboss this diagonal sheet of paper. So be careful, because don't do what I did the first time. I wasn't paying attention and I embossed it the wrong side. and had to do it again. So you want the name Stampin' Up facing you, and then you're just going to center your piece of paper in there how you want it. And you'll notice I tried to get all of the as much of the image in there as I could, and so I'm going to try to do the same thing with this one, kind of looking at what I did before. So okay, so I'm going to call that good. So let me get my big shot over here. And then I always like to start mine with the part that opens going in. I think it eases it in a little better. So, and notice I don't have but one of the cutting plates. I have it on tab 1. I have an older platform, and then just the one to go on top, and then just going to run that through. The next step will be to attach the 2 diagonal pieces to the Whisper White cardstock. So we'll go ahead and do that. So I'm using Fast Fuse, which is retired from the catalog, but still using up my stash. And it has lots of sticking power. Okay, and so you're going to want to just make sure and align it with the lower edge of the white cardstock. Get that perfectly aligned there. And push that down. And then do the same thing with the Designer Series paper. This is the back side. I love this paper. It's really nice and sturdy. Be great for making bags and boxes. It's just beautiful. Okay, try to get plenty. And then you're just going to line this one up like this. This is a really good basic card design that you could use for lots of different occasions. And then the next thing will be to attach the ribbon. What I've done is I've attached tear and tape to the back of the ribbon so that it will stick onto the cardstock. I didn't want to risk using glue dots and having it lift up. Yeah, it's coming. Okay. And then you just want to make sure that it's on the fully on the side with the Designer Series paper so that you can wrap it around easily, because you don't want to try to wrap it on a corner. So I'm just going to, I hope my head's not in the camera. Once you have the ribbon adhered, then you can turn it over and see that you can wrap that around, and then get your scissors and trim that back, and then do the same thing on the other side. So there you have it. And then we're going to use dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to bring this card base in here. I'm loving all the new color refresh. It's one of the nice things about Stampin' Up! Is they keep us current on colors and designs. Okay, and then we're just going to attach that. See if I can do this without getting my head in the camera. So attach that like that. See how quickly it goes together. And then this piece of very vanilla, I'll just put in there with some fast fuser snail. And once I stamp my greeting on it, my inside greeting. And then we need to stamp the greeting, and I use the thank you from the stamp set, and I already have it on a block here to stamp. And I have my little sheet of paper somewhere. It is right here. And so I'm just using the black memento ink. I'm just going to center this in like that. These stamps are just tremendous. They just take the ink really well. Okay, and then I use the Taylor Tag Punch, which is really a fun punch. And so I'm just going to put that in there and line it up and punch that out. Now, when I made my previous birthday cards with this punch, I went to great extremes to measure all around, and then I just thought, live dangerously. And so what I did for this card, and it worked really well, so I'm going to try and see if it'll work that well on camera. Cross my fingers here. So I'm just going to get some, and so I'm just going to put it a ways in, about 1/8 of an inch from the edge, to try and give it just a little matte look with the, I think it makes the colors pop out. And I'm going to get a longer pair of scissors for this cut, and so I'm just gonna cut that like that. I'm gonna come in, and if you just come straight down, and then, and even if it's not absolutely perfect, at least it's pretty straight using these longer shears. And there you have it. That is so much faster. Sometimes I go overboard measuring too many times, but that's the seamstress in me. My mother always taught me to measure twice and cut once, so I tend to over measure. And then just gonna attach this little greeting onto the lower part of the card. So I'm going to take this off and just kind of figure out, it's that I'm covering up the butterfly, I know, and I really like him. I'm going to have to make one of these again that shows the butterfly. So I'm going to attach it right about there. And then I need some of my little pearls. First I need to get my wicked little tool here. And I'm going to just put one at the top and the bottom, like that. So really that is a very fast little card, but it just has such a nice look to it. And what I did on this one, and sometimes the light isn't that great, but I lined around all the edges of the flower and the leaves with clear wink of Stella in the center also. So just doing that makes a really nice kind of glittery look to it.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. And if you would like more information about this card, follow the link to my blog. And I have created a card recipe with all the supplies and the measurements. Have a great day.